Avengers Endgame broke records when the film was recently released, with fans of the MCU dying to know how the Infinity Saga would end, and which characters we would be reunited with and which ones we'd be losing by the film's conclusion. That being said, some were a little critical about the follow-up to Infinity War, despite it critically being a stronger film than its predecessor. So today we are taking a look at the things the film was questioned or criticized for, with our list of the top 10 major things wrong with Avengers Endgame. Now personally, I was a big fan of the film and felt that it was a complete love letter to fans, so I'll be attempting to keep this as objective as possible. Also keep in mind this list is filled with spoilers for Avengers Endgame, so proceed at your own risk if you haven't seen it yet. With that in mind, let's get to it. In at number 10, Falcon is the next Captain America. Endgame concludes with a beautiful moment featuring Steve Rogers finally getting that dance with Peggy Carter, about to live out the life he never had. It's sweet and heartwarming and everything that we possibly could have wanted for the character. In the scene prior to it though, we see an older Cap return to where the time machine was set up, with Hulk, Bucky, and Sam seeing him seated looking out at the water. Bucky nods to Sam to go over, and Steve gives Sam his shield, passing along the mantle of Captain America. Now this angered some fans. In the comics, Bucky is the character who initially takes over the mantle from Steve, with Falcon eventually becoming Captain America later on. People felt that Bucky deserved the title instead of Sam. Speaking of, in at number 9, Stucky. Speaking of Bucky, many fans felt that the final chapter of the Infinity Saga really didn't give Bucky and Steve's friendship the proper send-off it deserved. Rather than give us a final emotional moment between the two, many felt that Sam robbed the Winter Soldier of it, being the one who got to talk to Cap at the end of the movie. The relationship between Bucky and Steve has been crucial to the MCU, with it being one of the main reasons that Steve and Tony end up getting into their feud that results in the conflict in Civil War. Even though Steve knew the horrible things Bucky had done while under Hydra's control, he never gave up on him, and to not give us a proper ending to their saga felt a little insincere. In at 8, The Rat. When Scott returns from the quantum realm, it's by sheer accident. His van that's been impounded has a rat run across the controls for the machine, which results in it opening up and shooting Scott out. While it's been noted that this is a cute little nod to Marvel Studios' parent company Disney, cause you know, Mickey Mouse, many people had an issue with how Deus Ex Machina it felt. What are the chances that a rat could get into the van and that it would run across the correct set of buttons that would operate the machine and bring Scott back? Yeah. In at number 7, Iron Man grabs the stones. During the final battle of the film, Tony takes his one shot at defeating Thanos. Now in the process, Thanos manages to overpower him and keep the gauntlet on his hand, to which it's then revealed that Tony swiped the Infinity Stones off of him. The stones then meld into Tony's power suit and he wields them. While it was an epic moment, some felt that it was just too easy. First off, how could Tony just pry the stones off easily and so quickly? And second, how would Thanos not immediately notice? Moving on to number 6, Fat Thor. Here's one that will probably stir up some controversy in the comics. Arguably some of the best comedic moments in the film are courtesy of the God of Thunder, Thor. While he decapitates Thanos towards the beginning of the film upon learning the Mad Titan has destroyed the Infinity Stones, Thor goes into a pretty deep depression, and is revealed 5 years later to be living in New Asgard, which is in Norway, living in a house drinking lots of beer and playing video games, including Fortnite, with Korg and Meek. But this upset some people. While Chris Hemsworth in a fat suit made many chuckle, others felt like him being the butt of many fat jokes made fat shaming and body shaming an acceptable thing, and also made light of his clearly obvious mental health issues. Now that being said, he still managed to kick some serious in the final battle for Earth at the end of the movie. In at 5, Steve Rogers and the timelines. Time travel is complex, and while Endgame managed to lay out its rules concerning time travel and the creation of alternate realities, some of the events that happened in the film complicated things, or rather, clearly impacted different timelines, causing them to splinter and become new alternate realities. So when Cap goes back to return the Infinity Stones, he may be resolving issues in those timelines, but the damage has technically already been done, and alternate timelines due to other events, like Loki teleporting away with the Tesseract, now exist. But perhaps the most infuriating part about this is that Steve stays behind in the past, and then returns to the same location as their time machine in the prime timeline. How can this be, if him staying in the past technically would have been a big enough event to alter the timeline? How did he get back to the prime timeline? Are there now going to be major consequences somehow because of this? Did he time travel again and go back to the prime timeline after Peggy died, assuming she died around the same time? Because otherwise the prime timeline would have 2 Steve Rogers, one frozen in ice and then another alive and well and married to Peggy Carter. And then when Steve is defrosted, there's gonna be 2 of them walking around. So imagine they just became like best buds, hung out all the time. And at number 4, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel historically earned $1 billion at the box office when it came out, which is big for Marvel's first female-led superhero movie. But one of the criticisms concerning the character and her appearance in Endgame was that she wasn't involved in the movie as much as the rest of the cast of characters. Now, quite frankly, most of us should have seen this coming. Endgame, while it did involve almost every single MCU character, was really about concluding the story arcs of the original Avengers team members, which it most definitely did. Carol Danvers will be a major player moving forward, and although we didn't get to see as much of her hanging out with the other Avengers as we'd probably all like, I'm sure moving forward into Phase 4, we'll definitely get our fill. And at 3, Tony ruins Infinity War. When Tony snapped at the end of the movie, he effectively killed Thanos and his entire army, aka Thanos from 2014 and his entire 2014 army. This means that there is no Thanos in the 2014 timeline, that alternate timeline that's now been created because things have, massively changed. Thanos, Gamora, Nebula, that whole army left that timeline to come to the Prime timeline. This means that in that alternate timeline there's no Thanos in 2014, or onwards, meaning Infinity War will never happen in that timeline. It's a bit difficult to confirm whether this is actually a thing, since technically Cap would go back and return the stones, but if we're following the time travel rules laid out in Endgame, that still means there's a brand new timeline that was created in which 2014 Thanos is dead and gone. And at number 2, no Cap Red Skull scene. When Captain America has to go back in time to replace all of the Infinity Stones back to their original timelines, many fans were a little disappointed about a major missed opportunity, that we never got to see a Captain America Red Skull reunion scene. Cap would have had to go back in time prior to 2014 on Vormir and then give the Soul Stone back to the spirit of Red Skull, who was the guardian of the stone there. How wonderfully awkward and amazing would that have been? But nope, we never got to see it. Realistically, it probably would not have fit into the narrative that well at that point in time in the movie, but here's hoping that the Russo brothers filmed a now deleted scene that captured the encounter. Fingers crossed. And finally, in at number 1, no post-credit scene. Last but not least, let's talk about the thing that's always last but not least when it comes to Marvel movies, the post-credit scene. Endgame did not have one, which left fans divided. Some completely understood. The post-credit scenes are typically ways of getting audiences hyped over what's to come next, laying down groundwork for what we can expect the next handful of MCU films to entail or explore. End credit scenes were typically how the lead up to Infinity War and Thanos' incoming threat were developed, and for Endgame to not have any post-credit scenes felt right. It was an end to the saga, and it's better to let it breathe, especially with that nice little sound effect homage to the 2008 Iron Man that played instead over the Marvel title card. Then there's the flip side of that. MCU titles are usually expected to have some sort of post-credit scene. It's become the norm. So deviating away from that left some fans majorly disappointed. What are your thoughts on this? Would you have preferred to have gotten a post-credit scene, or were you fine with the way it was? Alright, there we have it, friends. Did any of these moments bother you? Or do you think that Endgame was the perfect ending to the Infinity Saga? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more MCU videos just like this one. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.